Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Now, Graham Linehan, the man who came up with Father Ted and the IT crowd, was in America. He was talking on the Joe Rogan podcast. For those of you who don't know, Joe Rogan is one of the biggest podcasters out there. Millions upon millions follow him. He gets people in, he talks to them, and all sorts of people from all sorts of areas. And he's hugely, hugely popular. Well, Linehan was on there. Now, Linehan himself has previously been what you'd call a gender realist. Saying men are men, women are women, so forth. Agreeing, really, with what the Supreme Court said. But he got castigated for it. He was fired. Apparently, his wife has effectively left him. Channel 4 got rid of him. He was doing something for them. And he's really become a bit of a pariah. And yet he's still insanely funny. And also right. But he was on with Joe Rogan, and he was explaining the whole of the Sandy Peggie thing. And there was 14 million Americans listening and watching, because it's on YouTube as well. But there was 14 million Americans totally flabbergasted by this, as though they'd never heard it. Well, of course they wouldn't. Why would they have heard of some obscure little court case in Scotland? You know, because we know Americans, there's America and then that's it. It's the only country on the globe, isn't it, kind of thing. You ever see the face of an American when he realises there's other countries? But I'm joking, America. I know Americans watch this, and I am, of course, joking. It is just a trope, But he basically astonished them. They were stunned. There was loads of comments about this. They were like, "How on earth are you letting this happen?" I'll tell you what, mate. We're wondering the same damn thing, But Linehan said that it was called a culture war to try and keep it under the framework that they understand. But it's not a culture war, he said. It's about women's lives. We're talking about 51% of the population. They fought for these rights 100 years ago, and now they're having them taken away by stealth by men. And then he went in and said that there was this nurse in the UK at the moment called Sandy Peggie. And she had a doctor, 6'2", rugby-playing doctor, who'd started identifying as a woman, and then using the women's toilets in the hospital, and then using the women's nurses' changing room. And she was bothered by this and tried to go along, and eventually had to say something, and then she was accused of all this. So, well, and Rogan is standing there or sitting there, and he's absolutely astonished, and he's saying that. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. This is a serious issue, he said. This is safety issues and things. And it's just astonishing that Americans hadn't heard about it, but now that they have, it's amazing how many of them are on Graham Linehan's and now Sandy Peggie's side. So well done, America. The land of woke seems to be waking up. Great, isn't it? Thanks very much. Bye.